Same face, same Hello and welcome everybody to Tuesday night racing action here at iRacing Super Speedway in a wonderful world of fantasy, and talk about living in another world. Talk about tonight's great sponsor of Spatium Trucking. You can find them on, I believe it is Truck Books, one of those fantastic virtual trucking companies you can find for America and European trucking simulator. And you definitely want to join one of the best, and that is Spatium Trucking, one of the members of Numb Thumbs gaming community. With that, we've got 210 miles to settle this race here tonight, but first we started off with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Awesome. Thank you. As stated, this one is brought to you all by Spatium Trucking, a member of that Numb Thumbs gaming community. Go ahead and join that Discord to find out more information on how you can join one of the best virtual trucking companies you can possibly find out there in the virtual world. As always, I am joined here today by Mr. Alan English up here in the booth. Alan, how you doing tonight, man?
Good, man. Like you said, the ultimate fantasy speedway here. It's 3 miles, super high banks. It's shaped like a paperclip, but this thing is huge. You're going to see some huge speeds coming out of these trucks as they draft around this track, and it's going to get wild. It's a wide track. They're going to get 3 or 4 wide at some point. Probably quite a bit. As we saw some great racing out of these guys last week. Hoping to duplicate that tonight with our new sponsor, who I'm actually a member of Spatium Trucking as well on ATS. Haven't been on there as much as Alabama Old Man and Yucca Farmer and those guys, but I'll haul load now and then when I can. But this is going to be an awesome race. I can't wait to get started.
And down there on pit road, who's got his cooler all stocked up and ready, is Mr. Adam Turner. Adam, how are you doing tonight, man?
Oh, man, I love this open qualifying. I'm watching these Old Glory guys, and you got the Team America. You got all these cool different teams, so it's kind of cool to qualify with your team, right? I mean, Dusty Smith Racing, Numb Thumbs Racing, East Coast Racing. I think that's kind of a cool format here to kind of try to qualify together. We got 2 fast repairs, 75% fuel, minus 5% on the power, so that may keep them in line a little bit. We'll see. Unlimited tires. Last I checked, it was 113 degrees on the track. Right now it's 117, so hey man, it don't matter. It's gonna be fun. Bumps in 2, 1 and 3, where those huge bumps are, so we should see some super speedway racing tonight.
That we will as we take a look at that race info. 3-mile long racetrack here, but there is no restrictor plates on these trucks, so they can go just as dang near fast as they want as long as that draft provides it. Like you said, nice bright sunshiny day causing a little bit of track heat, but again, being a super speedway shouldn't be too bad, but it is possible to overcook those tire temperatures just a little bit, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But that's also going to bring us down to that key to the race, and will 3 wide be enough? We saw it all last week. We were pretty much 75% of the race at Talladega last week 3 wide, and I got a feeling these guys may not settle for 3 wide. They're going to maybe push it to 4, maybe even 5 wide, which we've seen here.
And this is a monster of a track. I mean, as we've described it, it can support some 4-wide action here. Let's see. Over there on the Twitch channel, we already got Angry Indian 89 on there. Good to see him out tonight. Yucca Farmer out there, one of the drivers for Spatium Trucking out there supporting. Saying thanks for the shout out. And it really is a great virtual trucking company. It really is. It's a lot of fun. Those guys are on almost every day. There's somebody on doing something. So they have convoys on the weekends. It's a blast. So.
Well, and if you're into iRacing, you already got a wheel.
Yeah.
Check out American Truck Simulator and those Spatium guys, because trust me, it's a lot more relaxing. You can drink your beer, enjoy, driving that little truck down the freeway, and you get to talk with the guys, and it's a pretty good time. So y'all need to check them out when you get a chance, especially if you have a wheel, you're already there. It's going to buy the game. It's not too much.
You're most of the way there already, and it's an older game, so I mean it's usually discounted pretty deeply. Even the DLC is getting cheaper all the time. Carol Hansley joining us, pulling for Andrew, of course, out there, who says he thinks he's got his audio issues fixed this week. And Kevin Winker tagging a couple of friends to come watch him. So definitely like and share the posts and the streams and tag your friends in it. People you want to come watch week in and week out, because it does nothing but help this league grow and collect more sponsors. And that's what we want. We want it to keep growing.
We're just watching it with y'all, and we're getting to actually just be a part of the watching of the thing, and we get to hear the comments and stuff. We love to hear what y'all have to say. Y'all are the big part of the broadcast. People watching. I mean, if it wasn't that, Brown, I think, says it perfectly. It'd just be 3 idiots watching a race. So glad to have everybody watching and staying with us, commenting and stuff. It makes it really cool.
Well, Alan, are we going to be doing this open qualifier all season? Because, I mean, it seems like it's working out pretty well.
It does, and you can see it right now. We've been following a little tandem group of teams, Old Glory and Team America, all teaming up here, and it looks like Old Glory has all separated themselves out just a little bit, with Jonathan Osborne, a member of that team, currently sitting on that pole position. But the biggest thing here with open qualifying is the urge to bump draft. The problem is the second you get a 0x, not even like a 4x or a 2x, a 0x just from the bump drafting, it invalidates that lap time. So it's a case of you can get as close as you want, but you cannot touch.
That's a great point. And Meep Moop over on YouTube saying it's NTR time, pulling for Numb Thumbs Racing out there. Jack Dixon's pulling for the crossover team of Old Glory out there, saying bring it home for Vigilante. Rob Chattery not able to join us. He's working out on the East Coast, but he's going to pull for the 66 of Verdiani, repping the Plus EV Motorsports team.
Man.
So good to see you guys.
Brown reminded me of something, look but not touch. I've been in a place like that in Southeast Houston. That's kind of a rule,
Yeah, it is a rule.
You can't. Yeah. Kind of like qualifying here at iRacing Super Speedway.
As we take a look as some of those Team America guys, with the help of Paul Ferdiani in that group, trying to get some better lap times, because they've just vaulted the 88 of Staten up into that pole position. Paul Ferdiani, one of those guys not quite into this playoff, eligible for that championship, but he is one of those runners. that will have a chance at getting next season's fees all paid for just by finishing here 11th in the season. However, he does have some competition, as he just, after this past race, got overtaken by the 4 of Eric Stoy. So we got ourselves a race with inside the race.
That's a fun battle right there, because you're getting it paid for next year. That's pretty cool stuff.
Well, something I'm seeing during practice and during the qualifier that I really like to see is a lot of guys coming down practicing green flag pit stops. It's
We've seen
kind
it
of
here. Dangerous.
I mean, it's great that they're doing that, because a lot of the time you think, well, it's a plate track. You're going to come in here. You're going to have plenty of cautions to pit under. Not the case always. Look at how clean it was last week. If these guys, not even a flag to flag, if they make it, halfway, 3/4 of the way, and they need to stop, they're going to have to do it under green if there's no flag.
Yeah, you know what I like? I see a bunch of American flags out there on these different trucks, and my eye gets kind of drawn to that. It's like a magical thing. Really cool paint schemes, as usual, with the HCK Beagles guys. So,
And this
might
team
as well
right here, these white trucks got USA across the back of the tailgates. They're all of their paints pretty much match up.
Yeah,
Pretty
you
awesome.
think about Durkee and the guys, or I don't know. There's so many.
Dusty Smith, Peterson, Zach Dillon, Brandon Eastman.
Well, if you want to check out more too, HCKBeaglesRacingLeague.com, HCKBeaglesRacingLeague.com. They have driver bios, admin bios. There's kind of cool stuff about the
Sponsor
league,
information.
sponsor stuff. Yeah, check it out. It's really cool. It's worth it, and I think they're adding more stuff all the time.
I think you are right, as we're in our closing minute of qualifying. So this is a last-ditch effort to either improve or practice those pit stops here, as time is winding down. With the win last week, Curtis Critchley is standing on top of that leaderboard here for that kind of playoff chase going on. And Kevin Winker needs a good rebound race here. Same thing with a whole bunch of other guys, one of those being Paul Durkee, who was definitely up there, kind of top 5-ish, but he's slid down and he's on that borderline of 10th. So Paul Durkee in that 6, really looking to get a good result here tonight.
Seeing a couple of trucks cross over the yellow line in the turns. That transition is insane. The amount of banking that comes off
tough.
above that yellow line, that's a real bad transition. They're going to not want to do that during the race.
No, they most definitely do not, as qualifying comes to an end here. So we're going to be taking it down to the starting grid and get this thing underway. But closing thoughts, gentlemen, after seeing a little bit of practice and qualifying here, I think we're in store for a good one. This isn't the first time we've been here to IRSS, so I think these guys might have a good handle on it, and I think we're due for a good one.
Yeah, I think we've been here a couple of times. The guys know what to expect. I think that I think you're on something. I think they'll get a handle on it early and learn how much room they need to give each other, and when to be aggressive and where.
Yep, and 1 and 3, be very, very careful. I think they know that the truck is going to drift up during those huge bumps, and I think we see huge runs on the backstretch. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
Well, that all being said, it is go time here for these drivers as they start to get all lined up. Kind of looks like almost a Le Mans style lineup. I just want to see those drivers run across the track. That's probably
That'd be sweet.
Going from the wall to the pit wall there. That's probably like a quarter mile. How big this place is.
Pretty wide.
Yeah.
These guys would be falling all over each other if that happened, but it would be fun to watch.
It would be, but nonetheless, let's start off with tonight's starting grid. We got Paul Ferdiani driving that 66 machine. He's going to be all the way up at that front pole position there. So Paul Ferdiani definitely looking to get a good result here tonight. Same thing with that 88 of Zach Staten. He's going to be starting here in second, with Cody Staten just behind him and to the inside. That 15 is going to be starting here in third. The 42 of Kevin Winker is going to be starting here in fourth. So you got three teammates all right together here from the get-go. So keep your eye on that Team America here out in front. 81 of Jonathan Osborne is going to be starting us in fifth, with Rick LePage driving that 7 machine. Hailing from Canada is going to be starting from 6th. Same thing with his fellow Canadian Curtis Critchley, the 27, starting in 7th. The 20 of Justin Lawson is going to be starting here in 8th, with the 96 of Zachary Peterson. I believe this is his second race with the HCK Beagles League here. He's going to be starting here in 9th, with Earl Evans in that 203 machine running out tonight's starting top 10.
Row 6 is going to be the 37 of Dustin Riley and the 12 of Austin Johnson to the outside of him. Row 7 is going to be the 2 of Albert Anderson and the 5 of Stephen Naylor. Row 8 is going to be the 84 of Josh Bittner and the 64 of Cale Turpoville. And then let's see who we got behind him. The 31 of Brad Taylor will be starting in 17th, and to his outside, the 6 of Paul Durkee. And rounding out your top 20 and making up row number 10, the 4 of Eric Stoy and the 1 of Derek Welch.
Yeah, 25 Mark Collins, 21st, 54 Brandon Coleman, 22nd. Number 3 Hunter Smith, 23rd. Looks like the 76 of Michael Hicks, 24th. 121 Dusty Smith, 25th. 39 of Brandon Eastman, 26th. 110 of Richard Michelob Gray. Everybody loves that guy. Oldest man in iRacing, number 27. 27th place, that is. 120 Zach Dillon, 28th. 115 to Dave Hot Rod Mayberry, 29th. 51 of Joshua Moore, 30th. 97 of Rodney Griffin, 31st. 75 of Brian Skidmore, 32nd. Gregory Turner, 33rd. And Andrew Hansley, the 4th, rounding it out. 34 trucks in all.
That overtime is being recorded, by the way.
Yeah, you guys owe me a couple bucks, so no big deal. I'll take it in beer.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. As that pace truck leads this field through turns 3 and 4, getting ready to take to that green flag. Both Paul and Zach getting this thing ready to rock and roll. Yes, and look at those paint schemes all out there. A lot of red, white, and blue, which is what we love to see. Pace car coming down, and our other favorite color, and that would be green, as that green flag waves, and off we go, down and across the line. 2 wide racing here at iRacing Super Speedway. Side by side they go. Looks like Paul Ferdiani got a great start there, and he's got some immediate help on that inside line as that outside line tries to regroup and get back together. Man, it looks like we got the 7 of Rick LePage trying to go all the way out to the wall by himself to try to make a push here towards the front, but that's not really helping him out. But man, look at that, just 2 trucks, both Zach and Cody Staten working together, able to push their way back up to the front, and man, do we got a lob of cars coming up.
Great start to this race, as you're already starting to kind of see where people like to run. And LePage, one of those guys that loves the outside, and he's going to have some help here. Got a couple of teammates, one in front, one in behind, with him stuck in the middle here. Let's see if they can work together.
Yeah, and watch on the backstretch. They're just, when they get back there, there's going to be so much movement. It's almost like a, musical chairs. They just start moving around, and it gets real interesting back here.
And you are not kidding, as everything starts to kind of scatter about as they enter some of these corners. As up here at the front, we're 3 wide. Paul Ferdiani, Zach Staten, and Kevin Winker. Oh man, 3 wide racing action for the lead here on lap number 2. And you can just see it. They've got room to shuffle a few more trucks in there if they wanted to, but unfortunately, I think you just lose a little bit too much of that run on that far outside line if you don't have all the help that you need.
Derek Welch with a crazy, stupid fast run right up the middle of everybody, and he'll be sitting on that kind of that what we call the inside line there. The second line. third car,
Well,
third
what
truck back.
this looks like to me, it's like driving from Waco to Austin on 35, but just tighten it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Maybe a tenth of the speed.
Well, no, put a pistol out the window, it'd be about the same.
Brandishing a firearm, huh?
I've seen it happen. It's pretty wild on the I-35. But these guys are keeping it together real well. I like what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, they are definitely using the spaces that they have. You can see the 27 of Critchley there go from the middle down to the bottom, now back up to the middle as soon as he was able to regather some of that momentum. He's looking to get some help from that 51 of Joshua Moore. However, that's an opposing team as well as opposing driver here for the chase. So I don't know how much help he's going to be expecting here, but it is early on in this run. Right now, Zachary Staten out in front. He was able to get his nose right out in front of Paul Ferdiani and dive on down to that bottom line. So he is now leading the charge on that bottom line. But you also got Zach Peterson there trying to shuffle up through. Oh, we're going to go 3 wide up here towards the front again as Ferdiani gets shuffled a little bit and ends up shooting through that middle line. It's going to be a little bit of a drag race here. Zachary Peterson being claimed the leader across the line that time by. He's trying to shuffle his way down. Oh, Curtis Critchley almost shut that door on him.
Great move by Critchley up there, pushing his buddy, getting him to get down there. Hey, man, you can work with anybody until the white flag comes out. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're mortal enemies. You're going to try to help each other at least until the white flag drops.
Yeah, it's a little early for fighting, although I expect a little bit of it.
As the 66 of Ferdiani gets a big push from that 51 machine and gets clear of Peterson, so he's going to slide on down, but it looked like that 51 was trying to move down with him. It wasn't quite open for 2 trucks.
Jack Dixon joining us over on the YouTubes, saying he's got his money on Mayberry, Bittner, and really to finish 1, 2, 3. Woo! Place that bet in Vegas to see what it'll get you. Jack Dixon also says, looks like the broadcast guy's going to be getting a lot of time at iRacing Super Speedway Vigilante. He hits the track tomorrow.
Oh, God. Again? That'll be fun. I think Dustin really had to DQ since he didn't meet the requirements for the pre-race events or something like that.
Oh.
So, yeah, I think he's done for the night.
Michelob's in the wall.
That's no surprise.
Lost a lot of positions there. Poor Michelob.
He'll be all right.
As long as he can stay up with this main group, he should be okay, but he is losing ground mighty quick, and I think he just doesn't have enough to keep up in that draft right now.
He's probably got to pray for a caution here or something just to keep him on the lead lap. If he stays on the lead lap, he's going to be fine because we do have 2 fast repairs.
So we take a ride here in the roll bar cam of Cale Turbeville driving that 64 machine. He's found himself up at the front and now kind of leading back towards the middle of this group, and you can just see how things are kind of spread around and people, being pretty patient here, doing their thing and just making sure they can at least get to the first pit stop without too much of an issue.
Russ Endicott over on Facebook pulling for his buddy in the number 2. Albert Anderson saying stand on it, tenderfoot.
So let me ask you this, Brown. You're like the professional of us 3. On these transitions where there's a huge bump, as the tires wear down, will that affect how much movement you have out there on the track?
Oh man, that's a tough one to sell. I don't think that's going to be the issue. I think it's going to be if these tires get super heated, especially with how hot this track is. I'm most definitely sure we're going to see some trucks maybe sliding up and down the corners a little bit more than maybe what they're used to, and so that could come into a factor here. But again, running, I think it's 70% fuel or so. So these guys, I think, are
75.
These guys are going to be pitting, I think, before that becomes any real danger.
So I'm seeing some guys hit about 225 miles an hour in the draft. Well, a little contact there between a couple of trucks.
54. Yeah, we got the tail end of that.
As we're going to be going 4 wide back here. Oh, man, this is tight racing here. You got the 2. You got the 64, you got the 33, also could be the 39. So we got a whole bunch of trucks back here. Looks like everyone able to kind of cycle its way around as a truck kind of went shooting up towards that wall, but able to keep it off of it back there.
Russ Endicott on Facebook saying tires are not really a factor here unless you can't hold your line. You know, we see a little bit of crack the whip kind of formation going on in the transitions into the, into 1 and 3. As they go up the racetrack, that wave is just kind of, it just snowballs to the rear.
Is he talking about when people run out of talent?
Possibly.
We've heard that one before.
As the lazy Susan of lead changes happens over and over again, man, it seems like every time they hit either the back or the front straightaway, we're getting a lead change as Curtis Critchley now takes the lead with the help of the 20, Justin Lawson. So what I'm seeing here is that outside line, if they can get things lined up just right, they can make a heck of a run here, just like right now. Here comes the 66 and the 42. 42 of Kevin Winker jumped up right at the right time as that 66 was flying up through with a big bull head of steam and almost gets them all the way up to the front, at least gets them pretty close to that leader.
54 Coleman slid way up the track and almost into the wall. I bet he lost a layer of wax off the right side of that truck.
Hey, look at Michael Hicks in the Yahoo truck. He's moving kind of up right in the middle. How dangerous is this when you're riding in the middle, 3 rows deep in these corners?
If you're telling me Daytona, I'd say very dangerous. If you're saying Talladega, a little less dangerous, but still not advised. Here, you can definitely pull it off, but you got to have confidence in the people around you to be able to hold it together. And at least what we're seeing here tonight, everything's been held together really well.
Caution's out.
Yellow flag's out. Yeah.
Of course, as I say that, looks like maybe the 54 of Brandon Coleman getting involved in that.
It looks like he's been out of shape. Let's see what happened. There's a lot going on with the 54. A couple other trucks look like as they go into 4. Or 3, actually. The number 7 comes up on Coleman. And just chain reaction from there, it looks like.
So I try to get a camera angle on this. Oh, looks like it just wasn't going to be able to jump in for me there. So not able to see exactly what happened, but quite a few people getting involved by the looks of it. But they're going to be able to get things repaired. And it's one of those things, thank goodness, kind of happened towards that back end of the field, because otherwise, man, that would have been pretty bad, as we were, 3 wide up here at the front.
Yeah, the farther towards the front in that lead pack that it happens, the worse it's going to be for everybody, because it's just pretty much impossible to get that thing slowed up to avoid an accident. Bruce Muehlberger joining us over on the Facebook saying go 51 and 42. It's an American flag emoji there. And Russ Endicott saying having friends on a green flag stop is going to be crucial. I'm sure we'll see some green flag stops later on, especially if the racing stays mostly clean.
And I don't think we're going to see any real deviation from that, but we do expect these leaders to maybe come on down into the pit lane this time, now that they caught up to that pace car, to top up on fuel and some of those, 4 things you put on the ground that connects you to the car, the tires.
Yes.
As I had a stroke there or something. Jeez.
I mean, the Goodyear
burnt
tires.
toast.
Oh, no, that's never good. Don't do that. We call 911 on that one.
Yeah.
Well, we knew what you were getting at there, Brown, but they're all coming down. I think it's a smart move.
Yeah, for sure.
Get the tires figured out, fill it with fuel. 13, 14 laps in, we still got a long way to go. At 3 miles a lap, 3 miles, and there's 70 laps. In Louisiana, how many miles is that? All right, okay, good. Same as the rest
Are
of the
you
United
testing
States.
me? I mean, come on.
I'm just seeing if y'all use the same system.
How many ounces are in this drink right there?
I'm guessing 12, but you could be. You never know.
Now,
Bailey Hughes saying, "Let's go Stone." I don't know if Stone's in this race.
I haven't seen Stone Hutchinson in a while.
Well, I mean, let's go ahead and bring him back. He's got fans showing up. Why isn't he here?
Unless he had a name change and we don't know about it.
That could have happened too. I mean, anything's possible nowadays, and I don't want to get into that. I've been on probation for a while about, saying things I probably shouldn't say.
As we go ahead.
Joshua Moore did not qualify. Look where he's at. He done moved his way up to 7th spot.
Yeah, it's not a bad move, right?
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, we always say it, you either want to be at the very front or the very back, and he apparently did not want to be at the very back, so he made his way up to the front, and he did that quickly, so definitely be on the lookout for him to continue to make some moves here as we get all lined up and slowly ready to go back to green flag racing here with Paul Ferdiani and Joshua Moore at 51 up there at the front.
Who got the wave around? Did y'all happen to see who got the lucky dog? I
Uh,
thought it was going to be Richard Gray, but I think
I don't think he
somebody
was a
else
let
got-
down.
It's shown to be a lap down on one of my score tabs. I have so much stuff going on here.
Maybe we didn't have one available because of the incident. Maybe I don't know. Well, regardless, we're racking everybody back up. Richard Gray remains 1 lap down for now.
He'll get it back. He does love these super speedways.
Oh yeah.
Richard Michelob Gray. I give him a hard time. He's actually really good at driving these super speedways. I know he has a lot of fun with it.
And that he does as we turn those lights on that pace car off. And we're going to get going to green flag racing in just a second. So far, some of the biggest movers, we mentioned him, the 51, Joshua Moore up 28 so far. You also got Brad Clay, the 31, he's up 10. You got Mark Collins, the 25, he's up 12. Even Brandon Eastman in that 39, he's up 11 back there in 15th, 14th spot. So quite a few people were able to make up a whole bunch of ground, and let's see if they can make up even more as that pace car comes off down into pit road, ready to go back to green flag racing here side by side across the line. The 66 and that 51 get ready to rumble down and going. Turn number 1, still too wide. Looks like, little bit of a checkup there. I think the 27 had to back off just a little bit, and that caused the 42 of Winker to maybe peak to make a run up the middle there, but that top line did a pretty good job of keeping it pretty tight.
And Mark Collins got a little gap between him and the truck in front of him, but you don't really need to be right on their rear bumper, right on their tailgate, to get, stay in the draft and get a good run. So Collins kind of playing it safe right now.
Speaking of good runs, sorry, Brown, Derek Welch in the number 1 Numb Thumbs Gaming radio truck. Looks like he's having a real good run. Are they simulcasting us again?
I don't know. I haven't got any info on that.
I'd love to hear from those guys at Numb Thumbs Gaming. He's on the outside there, Brown, trying to make a move.
Hey, right now, kind of all by himself, but slowly and surely people are deciding to maybe pop out there and give him a hand, as we saw the 20 and the 27 have a heck of a run on that outside to push their way up to the front. So Curtis Critchley makes his way back up to that lead, as we're going to get ready to go back to 3 wide racing here, as we are 3 wide from about the 3rd to 4th row and on back. You can see that 66 of Paul Ferdiani recognizing what's coming up, and he's going to try to stick here with that 1 of Derek Welch.
The admins did message us on Facebook and say the wave rounds went to Richard. They also went to Coleman and Rodney Griffin. So 3 guys get a lap back.
They must have been a couple laps down, so...
Yeah, I think Richard was.
That they are. So here on lap 18 of 70 here at this iRacing Super Speedway virtual circuit. We've got Curtis Critchley and Justin Lawson up front on the inside, but he's got the 51 and the 42. Moore and Winker working together on that outside. And they even have some extra help from that 96 of Zachary Peterson, who's done a pretty good job of making his way up to the front here tonight, trying to maybe pick up a win here and steal something away from one of these playoff guys.
What's amazing to me is they're running 225, 226, almost 230 pretty much on these straightaways, and we're down 5% power in these trucks. That's just what an amazing feat that is with, I guess, the amount of, aerodynamics that go into these trucks and how much push and pull they have. We're cooking out here.
Well, think about this. A lot of people would say, boo, they're taking power out of the trucks. It's the equivalent of what your push mower is that you mow your postage stamp front yard with. So it's not a significant amount of power, but I think it's enough to kind of mix things up and put a little bit more reliance on the draft and slingshotting people, and I think it makes the pack racing just a little bit better, taking just a touch of power out of here. As you can see, it's not hurting the top end.
No, and I think we really noticed this start to come into effect as, that 42 of Winker, man, he got a bad bounce going into turns, I think that was 1 and 2. He ended up shooting all the way up to that outside line, and he is losing spots like it's no tomorrow. He's got the 6 and the 54 inside of him right now, but he really needs to find a way to jump down to that middle lane. Otherwise, he's just going all the way straight to the back.
He's got a lot of friends out there. He'll be fine. That George Washington Muhleberger Custom Homes paint scheme, I love that. Team America. He'll get back in there if somebody will let him in.
He finally has a space right now, right behind the 3 of Hunter Smith. But kind of getting back to the point I was making before that was, the first made that kind of decision to go to 95% power right, at Indianapolis the last time, and man, we saw some really good racing come out of that, and I think it's that, just that 5% of power that brought things down just a hair. That was able to allow these guys to keep just a little better control of the truck.
We do have a question, and you might be able to help us out with this if you got a cockpit camera view somewhere with somebody who's drafting behind a fast truck. Jack Dixon says, are these trucks still hitting the chip with the 5% horsepower decrease? Talking about the rev limiter. I don't know if we could really tell that. You might be able to hear it. If that's something that we can work up, we'll try.
Insider baseball right there of iRacing.
That's a pretty good question.
It's a real good question. That what, and if you've been in one of these trucks, or cars for that matter, you know what he's talking about. So
I would think not, just because Russ Endicott says if they're geared right, you can hit 235 in these trucks. I mean, that's still a little bit more than you're going.
And from what I'm seeing here, I'm not seeing any lights on the dash light up. However, some of these guys might also be playing with that throttle. It may not even be full throttle. They could be chilling. Oh my goodness, here comes Winker up the middle. Just as we're live here with that 39 of Coleman. Holy cow, he came out of nowhere.
That's side drafting up the middle, going from inside to outside line. We've seen guys do that, not just in trucks.
Yeah.
We've seen that done in Xfinity cars.
We're looking about almost 4 wide back here. Albert Anderson in 19th place. Derek Welch.
Staten's above him. That's a Zach Staten up there.
Staten boys, you got to watch out for them. Team America, and then Team Old Glory. America's driver, Albert Anderson. He looks like he's just kind of holding steady. He's waiting to pounce at some point later on in the race.
As that 42 of Kevin Winker found his way and found a line, he was able to get some help there and wasn't solo anymore. So he's side by side. Curtis Critchley up here towards the front, trying to take that lead back away as we got crazy action going on down through this field.
Yeah, Michelob shot way up the track. That's Richard Gray in the 110. Once again,
He dropped a
Coming out of
cigarette
the turn.
cherry in his lap.
I'm telling you, it looked like he was, he might have been doing a little break dancing in his rig.
And in regards to that kind of middle line, side draft, and whatever, I'd say we start to trademark it as the turbo tunnel, and you heard it here first.
The turbo tunnel, I like it.
Oh boy, as we're going 4 wide, as man, Kevin Winker lost every friend that he had up at the front, all deciding to go around him here. So we were 3 wide, even 4 wide there for just a second, but that 39 of Brandon Eastman, man, he had a run due to some of that help that he got from some of those guys on the outside, like Paul Durkee and Eric Stoy, as here comes Durkee and Stoy on the outside picking up that run.
Well, the only way the turbo tunnel really works is if the sides of the tunnel are halfway close to you. You know, if they were as wide as they were there, you're not really going to help yourself there. Here comes Welch up the middle again. Go ahead, sir.
No, I just think Winker might be just playing around, seeing where he sets with that truck, what works. Maybe drops out to cool off a little bit. Got a lot of teammates. Team America is all up there in that general vicinity with him.
It's that 27 of Critchley trying to maybe work some magic here a little bit with a, I think that's a lap truck. Excuse me, no, that's the 96 of Peterson, excuse me. Trying to work his way back around as that, plate track Lazy Susan keeps on rolling around. I mean, that was the longest time we've seen someone to really hold on to that front, as here comes the 1 of Welch with the 20 of Lawson looking towards that outside line.
We know Critchley can push. That ECRC truck can really push out there, but now he's leading the outside line as he jumps up.
3 wide racing action here in a little bit of a battle for third. You got Brad Clay up there in the 31, the 39 of Eastman up there, 64 Turbofield, the 1 of Welch, even the 121 of Dusty Smith is all up there, all fighting and trying to wiggle their way to get out here towards that front here on lap 27.
Ashley Osborne joining us over on YouTube, pulling for the 81 of Jonathan out there. Chachi. Get it, Chachi.
Yeah. We'll see him. He's just kind of hanging back. He'll be all right at the end. Here's a serious question, though, for both of y'all. Why do we see such really good racing with these guys at these big tracks? Anybody that's done this knows it's very difficult to hold a line and going 230 miles an hour in a corner with, weird transitions. What makes these guys so good?
I got the answer for you. This started as a super speedway league. I mean, pack racing is pretty much all they do. There's a couple other tracks. They're kind of
Oh, as we gotta wiggle up here at the front. Hang on to it, Zach. Hang on to it. And he does. Oh, but that's gonna cause some mayhem behind him as people try to avoid it. We got trucks flipping in, bobbing, someone breakdancing on their roof. That was terrible.
It was a great save, but it was the secondary.
Yeah, the secondary. Derek Welch got cut up in the secondary, and the Numb Thumbs aiming radio truck. And who got loose first there? It looks like, was that Zach Peterson?
It was a white truck, I think.
Yeah, number 96 is Zachary Peterson. Just kind of started getting loose. He held it really well, but it's kind of hard to slow everybody down after, going 240 miles an hour.
Yeah. Oh, man, and just everybody trying to check up and avoid the main contact there as we had people flipping and bobbing. I think it was one of the Team America guys that ended up going for a crazy ride. Probably Kevin Winker, unfortunately, for...
I saw Zach State looks like he was flipping through the air. Russ Endicott, right before that happened, said 3 wide's not very smart right now. He said it kind of starts the clock on the big one, and I didn't even get to read it because it happened.
Because it happened,
and I'm over here talking about how great everything was going. It really was until that little issue.
And see, that's the second time it's happened tonight. I was saying something like, yeah, these guys are doing great, and then a caution comes
Yeah.
out. Now you're saying something's great, and caution comes out. So English, you shut your mouth.
Yeah, I will.
But
D-
let's. They really have been racing well. Things happen. You're going 240 miles an hour into a corner, 3 wide. I mean, eventually we're gonna have an issue.
Yeah, and I mean,
Mom emoji over there on Facebook. She was here to watch Justin
I love-
Lawson
That's my favorite emoji. I love
run.
that one.
And DEP iRacing Paint said this just turned into an air show, and it did for a couple guys. I think the 88 was one of them that some high flying stunt work going on there.
Hey, man. Regardless what happened, just right then and there, I thought we were really seeing some superb racing out there.
Well, down in dirty Tennessee over there saying, "Good God, the humanity on that one." Now, that was.
They didn't really have anybody
that
to
was tough.
fight over it. It was just kind of one of those things, you know. I want to see a fist fight over in where the haulers are. Y'all
For
know
anybody
about that.
that's joining us on Twitch, if you get an error, just go ahead and refresh your player. Y'all might be having the same thing I'm having, where it'll just kind of stop every now and then, and I'll refresh it. It's more than likely on my end, but don't give up on it. If you need to, jump over to Facebook or the YouTube stream. They're going fine.
Well, that's why we have redundancy. And
Yeah.
check these guys out, HCKBeaglesRacingLeague.com. You can check out all the sponsors. Spatium Trucking is our sponsor tonight. American Truck Simulator, the European Truck Simulator.
Yeah, they
They're
run
part of
both.
that whole
It's
thing.
mostly ATS, and like I said, ATS is not expensive. If you already got a wheel and pedals, I mean, it's a blast. Like I said, it's like you said, Adam. It's very relaxing.
It is.
It's not like pack racing at super speedway. You know, you're hauling a trailer with your friends in a convoy on the interstate. There's real roads and stuff on there. It really is.
You have time to make fun of your buddy. You don't have.
Yeah.
You're not white knuckling the whole time. And you just kind of laugh at each other and have a good time. So, check those guys out at Spatium Trucking and Numb Thumbs Gaming, and check out Numb Thumbs Gaming Radio. I think at times we're simulcast on there, which is kind of cool, man. It feels like we're like Prestige Worldwide or something when we're doing these broadcasts.
I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a music video.
Yeah, I'm ready. Get my dad's boat. We'll be fine.
Russ Endicott says, "How many fast repairs? They got 2 tonight."
2. Yep, 2
He
fast.
said, "Hey, if you get shoved to the apron, stay on the apron. Try to come back in and turn your in a turn, and you're toast." Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Unfortunately, sometimes you just can't get slowed down without locking your wheels up. And I mean, I've done that same exact thing before, avoiding a wreck, and you're already down on the apron, and here's the turn. It's right in front of you. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes it happens.
well, not only
Yeah,
that, but I mean, out of all the tracks to go down to the apron for, this has got to be the toughest one.
Oh, yeah,
I
this
mean,
is probably the worst
a
one.
30-degree worth of banking difference at a minimum, you know? Oh,
At a
man.
minimum. Austin Paul also joining us, saying, "Let's go Bittner Osborne and the Double A." Anthony Anderson in the 2. So a lot of fans chipping in tonight, being a part of the conversation on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And the pace car, the weird looking pace car, is down and off.
That it is. So we got Zachary Peterson up at the front with the 6 of Paul Durkee right beside him. Green flag is out once again. Just a few laps away from halfway through this race already. Cale Turbeville, he's looking pretty good up there. He's right now trying to push that outside line to get Paul Durkee out there, out in front and into the lead. We'll see how these guys do when everything gets all regrouped and stacked up. You also got that 27 of Curtis Critchley there as well. Same thing with that 4 of Eric Stoy, looking to try to steal something away here, coming away with an 11th place for the final league standings here. So he's in a good spot right now up here in that top 5, trying to get that bottom line moving. But man, that bottom line just does not want to get rolling here. So it looks like they're going to start to catch up to a lap truck here that didn't quite get the wave around done that they wanted.
And sorry ahead of time, I did not make a top 10 graphic for this race. We do have a general standings bracket, but I wanted to try to make one with the top 10 kind of differentiated. So sorry about that. Didn't get to it today. Busy day, but I should have made time for it. Russ Endicott says this is going to boil down to attrition and fuel mileage if it keeps going this way, and that is a lot of time. That is what you see at these big tracks, but I guess it depends too on how good you are at finding whatever line is fast and leaving yourself room to jump back down. We saw some blocking last night in a different race, and that was exciting too. That was at Talladega. So,
And that's a fun one in those Xfinity cars, Talladega.
yes.
As the 27 of Critchley trying to push that 96 Peterson, doing a little I scratch your back, you scratch mine action here, as those two were working together really well early on. Got a lot of those East Coast racing guys sitting around him. I mean, one of those guys, that 6 of Paul Durkee, who found his way with I would say probably a good final races of the regular season, able to sneak his way into that kind of playoff 10 here in the HCK Beagles, and he's out front leading this thing right now.
Yep, continuing to improve and really making his mark late in the season. You know, it's this is the time when you want to do it, as we're 3 wide right here for 6th, it looks like.
Yeah, you got the 27 of Critchley using that turbo tunnel trying to...
Oh, no!
See, moves
Not
up.
work out.
Oh, what a save.
What kind of save was that? He was 90 degrees
They're even
to the line of
talking
traffic.
about it on the radio.
Albert
I hope he
Anderson.
He better have an extra set of drawers handy, because
Well, he's America's driver, man. What do you expect from him?
that was
Jeez,
nuts.
we all knew that he could do that.
And that's you might need a little bit more than a Coke bottle to relieve yourself after that one.
He'll be all right.
That was amazing. I'd never seen anything like that.
Well,
But
you never seen my man drive either, have you?
no,
Actually, you
but
have.
that's what we were also talking about, is that wash up going into these corners. It's just that easy. If someone's trying to, pinch down just that little bit extra and you go into one of those corners, man, that's how easy something like that can happen.
And not just Anderson, but everybody that was around him did such a great job of staying out of the way of that and recognizing that there was a couple trucks checking up, and nobody got into each other. So that was great.
Yeah, I think that was another amazing part about it. Good point, because everybody just kept it clean. They saw him go sideways, and then he pulled off. Looked like, what was that? Bobby Ray Hall that did the spin at Indy one year, or was it Bobby Ray Hall? Or I wasn't big into it, but I did see a guy spin and win a race back in the '80s. Pretty cool.
I really don't know. That could have been Unzer or anybody too. I mean,
Yeah, I think it was somebody else. I have to use my Googler. Check it out. I'll let y'all know.
Oh, we got one around. It's Collins, and he's rear-ended it into the inside wall. Yellow's out. 25 Collins, numb thumbs racing.
Hot diggity dog, that's for sure. Right into the wall.
See what?
Did you have any help?
He had definitely some help on that one, and there was no saving it from that inside wall. I hope they got 7 layers of that safer barrier on that one, because that was a hard impact.
He'll be feeling that in his noggin tomorrow.
He only hit it going about Mach 10. Let's see who was. Brandon Eastman in the number 39 DSR truck. I'm not going to blame anyone, but that's what looks like. He just got a piece of him there.
That's what it looks like. It looked like Eastman saw a gap in the middle, went to move for it, and the 25 just wanted to go for it as well. Problem was Eastman had already gotten there.
Zach Dillon, Joshua Moore, and Hunter Smith will all get waved around here. Hunter Smith is 2 laps down, so he'll be 1 lap down as they come around. Everybody else is going to be back up on the lead lap. So you guys out there cheering for the 51, like Joel Moore out there, Your man is back on the lead lap when we get restarted here. Connie Goodman saying, "Come on, 81, let's go Osborne." Chachi's got some fans out here tonight.
Oh, I love the
And-
81. I think he's gonna he'll finish out tonight well if he don't get wrecked.
Yucca Farmer Gaming saying, "ATS, the safest drinking and driving that there is."
That's
It's a
true.
lot of fun too, even if you're not doing it. But
So
it helps. And we
I
got a
used
lot
the
of takers
Googler.
coming down pit road there.
oh yeah, they're all coming down. Why wouldn't you? I used the Googler. It's the spin and win. Danny Sullivan. I knew it was a Miller Lite
Sullivan,
car.
okay.
1985 Indy 500. That dates me a little bit that I remembered that, but it's called the spin and win. It was really cool. He did basically what Albert Anderson did there to the extreme and ended up winning the race. So
Endicott over there on Facebook says probably gas and go only here. We may see that for a while, as he mentioned, tires aren't really a big deal here.
As it looks like a couple of people staying out, Paul Ferdiani and Dylan, being two of those guys, and everybody else coming on down to get some pit stops done. Jonathan Osborne won that race off of pit road, however, so the 81 looking very strong up at that front. Followed by Brad Clay, Brandon Coleman, Curtis Critchley, Cale Turbeville, Justin Lawson, Michael Hicks, and Derek Welch.
Michael Hicks again back up in the top 10 after starting way back in the back. Seems like he's getting better and better at doing this every week, kind of sneaking up there from the back and getting up there in the top 10.
Yeah, man, that 76, he can definitely work some magic around here, especially in these second halves of the races. That's when we really notice it, is because it's now getting to go time. It's starting to run out of those laps that you've been banking on. We're going to have 30 laps to go, I think, by the time we get going back to green flag racing here. And, I mean, we can head through this field. Like Stephen Naylor, he's done a pretty good job of staying right there kind of towards that front middle. Same thing with Dusty Smith in that 121, making his way up towards that top 15. However, we scroll on down. You got Josh Bittner in the 84 down in 30th. Albert Anderson with that great save. Saw him up at the front there. Just needs to make up some ground. Try to get back on up there. And someone really hoping to hear that rally train horn here tonight is Hunter Smith, as he's back there in 32nd, still I think a lap down here.
I don't know if we have time to talk to maybe Albert Anderson or get his perspective maybe on the next one. It'd be good to hear kind of what his thoughts were as he went 90 degrees one way and straightened the thing out.
A lot of folks on YouTube saying great save, Albert. A bunch of people saw that. Jack Dixon down in Dirty, Tennessee.
I say maybe the next caution we'll try to get his take on it. Hopefully he's moving on up the pack, but pretty amazing for him to still be on the lead lap after that happened.
Well, let's talk. As long as we got a minute here, let's talk about Spatium Trucking. Numb Thumbs gaming community. They have, all different kind of games and simulations you can play, and American Truck Simulator is one of them. And their virtual trucking company is Spatium Trucking. They're consistently within the top 15 companies as far as miles and stuff go during any given month. So it's competitive. Alabama Old Man runs it, but any of the guys that are all light will help you out, tell you what mods are good, which ones to stay away from. They'll help you get set up and help you get running for the company. Yeah, Trucksbook is a really cool third-party software that tracks your miles for you and everything. It's a lot of fun. You ought to check it out. If you got a wheel and pedals, go download ATS and give it a try.
And even better, it is free. As we get ready to free things up and go back to green flag racing here, Paul Ferdiani and Jonathan Osborne up at the front. And side by side they go across the line looking to get this thing back underway. Going to be interesting to see if we can get some green flag pit stops in here on this run as we have that 30 laps to go.
See some 3 wide already back here. You got that Yoo-hoo machine looking up high, trying to get somebody to go with them.
Did you ever like the Yoo-Hoo? I just never cared for that.
I was a regular chocolate milk guy, but if I was at a gas station late at night, need something to drink, and Yoo-Hoo's there, I'll drink Yoo-Hoo.
Ooh, as we're going to be going 4 wide here. Oh, everyone able to shuffle their way around there. The 54 of Coleman finds himself up into the lead behind, right in front of Paul Ferdiani. Jonathan Osborne really sticking to that outside line, trying to get everybody grouped up and get that run going. But the problem is people are being a little bit, I don't want to say selfish, but they're trying to work their way up towards this front, as we saw like Kevin Winker bouncing around lanes trying to figure out which way is going to give him the best run to get up there. Same thing with that 64 Cale Turbeville. He's out there on that outside line with the one of Derek Welch trying to get everything going here. As like you said, we still have 3 wide back here behind this main group of guys. You got Eric Stoy in the 4 just in front of it, but you've got Dave Hot Rod Mayberry, Albert Anderson, and Paul Durkee right there, all 3 wide.
Cody Staten in this Makita machine. Kind of stay in middle here. No, I'm sorry. That's not him. That's Stephen Naylor in the Makita machine right there. Trying to find somebody to work with here. Niccolo Gray coming up on his outside. Here comes the Yoo-Hoo man. Right up behind him. Gonna have a little bit of help maybe.
As that 40...
It's funny to watch these guys kind of shift around and kind of eyeball everybody around and figure out who they're going with.
Yeah, it's a real gamble out there. It's tougher than picking out your bracket for March Madness, trying to figure out who's going to make that charge to go up to the front. And what we do know is that 81 of Jonathan Osborne is currently leading it, but he's got that 42 of Kevin Winker right behind him.
Hicks just got into the 110 in the wall, wrecked pretty hard in the outside wall. We're staying green, though. 76 and the 110 got together there.
Oh, no, and looks like that 110 is going to be trying to come down into pit lane here as we are still green flag racing, everything going on up at the front. You got Brandon Coleman in that 54 machine trying to hold off that outside line, but, man, that is a hard task to handle.
Watching the 4 of Eric Stoy. He's being pretty patient so far. Now I say that, now he's kind of trying to peek in the middle. See, checking the status of the turbo tunnel there.
Yeah, bad day to be a Busch Light. This guy, I think he could hang over there in Waco and shooting dice. Oh, look at all this.
Oh,
54, everyone's done. That's a wrap. I hear engines blown. All hell has broken loose.
I saw Coleman sideways. That's the first thing I saw.
81's turn. I mean, wow.
He's still running, though. Looks like he's got it refired. A couple of trucks are not moving, though.
That
was the problem out front, Brown. The 54 Brandon Coleman got turned by the 66, looked like.
That it was, and I was seeing some slight issues up there kind of early on. Some people maybe just getting a piece of that apron, so let's see what happened here. Oh, yeah, that 54 was bobbing and weaving. I think he might have just barely touched the apron, upset that truck a little bit, as that 66 of Paul Ferdiani was trying to give him a big old shove in the corner, and bumpers don't line up, and next thing you know, you got trucks everywhere.
66 was kind of called for the penalty by the admins. Ferdiani kind of pleading his case there, and it looks like the 54 is agreeing with Ferdiani, saying, hey, man, it wasn't really his fault. It's kind of on me. So,
and that's the cool thing that these guys are kind of admitting to whatever issue there was. I mean, but look at these trucks. They look like bowling pins. So you're watching the PBA with that guy with weird hair, man. They're just spinning all over the track. Really good group of people out here. HCK Beagles RacingLeague.com. He owned it. Coleman owned it. I guess he thought he was went a little low. Maybe hit the apron, caused that. Ferdiani. It's tough to see these guys when they're out front chugging along, having a real good race, and then something like that happens.
Here comes the pit party, but not everybody participating there, Brown.
Not everybody. You had Kevin Winker, Cale Turbeville, and Austin Johnson all staying out. I believe all 3 drivers part of that chase. Let me just double check my notes here.
I don't know, Austin Johnson.
I think you're correct. I believe Austin Johnson is not, but aggressive strategy here. You know, they're looking at it. 25 laps to go as of right now. They've at least got this caution, maybe one more caution. Who knows?
Well, Johnson might be chasing that 11th place in the standings. That if he's there at the end of the season, he'll get his tab picked up for next season. But he might also just be out there chasing trophies. We heard AJ Allmendinger talking about that this past weekend. They're not points eligible, but they're out there chasing trophies. They're trying to get wins.
I think that's what 42 Winker's doing. He wants to chase trophies and showcase all the cool paint schemes he's got with a George Washington version of the Team America Mueller Custom Homes paint. I know he's pretty proud of that. I'm going to run a lap in the lead. Last pitted on 38. I'm assuming he may come in here at some point.
It's going to be tight on that fuel. I know tires not going to be too big of an issue here. It's going to be, man, just like every week we've seen at least one race be a fuel strategy race and seeing who's got enough to make it to the end. And, it might be a case for Kevin Winker here. He might think he's in a pretty good spot that he can save enough and he can make it all the way up to that end.
Russ
All right, go ahead.
Russ Endicott saying, do not bump draft in the corner here.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a rule. Hey, do you all mind if we talk to maybe Albert Anderson, just get his perspective, what's going on out there, and kind of with that save he made?
Sure. Let me see. If
all right, let's. I'm gonna bring him up if
you
we
can. Drag him? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not real good at this computer thing, but I'm drag him on up to. Maybe we'll give it a quick deal in here. Here he comes.
Damn, this seems like there's a lot less trucks in here.
Albert, American Driver, you got a copy.
What's up? What's up, guys?
Man, how in the hell did you save that thing earlier? That was our main question.
Yeah, Curtis Chrisley came up off the bottom and got into me there and turned me sideways, and somehow I was able to yank on the wheel hard enough and was able to catch it up the hill there and got control of it. But that one made me sweat.
Yeah, I think the other vigilante guys that are watching you race tonight over on the YouTube, I think they're saying, man, he's got to be hacking out there or something. There's no way you could save that truck 90 degrees sideways like that. I don't believe they'd say that though.
Yeah, I mean, once I felt it starting to step out, as soon as he hit me, I just slammed the wheel as hard as I could to the right before the truck really started to turn too much, and that allowed me to get back straight. So old man reflexes, I guess.
Well, we'll let you get back to it, man. Good luck to you, and here y'all go.
Hey, guys, keep the gumbo hot. I'll be up there in a little bit.
All right. Man, that was good.
As we go back to green flag racing here, the 42 at Kevin Winker and the 64 Cale Turbeville side by side to get this thing back going. The one of Derek Welsh trying to get to that back of Cale, trying to push him out in front into that lead. You got Kevin Winker there trying to get Austin Johnson back up onto his bumper. This might be one of those situations. Just trail that brake just a little bit, close that gap to, get that speed boost here coming up towards this back straightaway, and everyone finally able to get all grouped up back together as that 76 machine of Michael Hicks. He's looking really racy now up there in fifth. He's coming along on that outside line, trying to push that line as much as he can, maybe give them a little boost forward here in the right direction.
Here he comes, that's for sure. Hey, I've heard of old man strength, but I didn't know there was an old man reflexes thing.
There is. It's like cat reflexes. Well, look at the reflexes on Turbeville as he takes the lead with Derek. Well, I think it's Derek Welch right behind him.
Derek Welch.
So it's going to be interesting for these last few laps we're going to run out here.
Cody McEwen saying, come on, number 5, stay in there. This is your race. Talking about Steven Naylor out there in the Makita machine.
And he's doing well. He's up inside that top 10 right now, trying to hang on to that bottom line, trying to see where that momentum's going to take him. As people are kind of shuffling all around him up here at that front, you got Cody Staten trying to get back to teammate Kevin Winker. Same thing with Joshua Moore in that 51. So we got Team America trying to line up here on the inside. They got just Austin Johnson kind of up there in between. The problem is Cale Turville and Derek Welsh are having a really good run on that outside as we're 3 wide. Oh, we're wrecking maybe. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh, the Staten boys got involved.
Zach Dillon.
Zach Staten got involved. It wasn't his doing. Wow.
Dustin really helicoptered into space, it looked like. Is that him in the 37? Somebody. Who's running 37 tonight? I don't know. It might just be painted the 37. Sorry about that.
I don't know, but we will take a look at that, as that was a wreck that took about half a mile to finish out.
Well, Albert Anderson, unfortunately, was involved. That's why I hate talking to these guys, like broadcaster curse.
Oh, yeah, just getting into that 120, trying all he could to save that. Man, he almost had it saved. The problem was it just snapped back on him. Man, it looked like I don't know who that was.
Anderson was involved, but you got to ask yourself this. But did he die? No.
No, he didn't. Of course not.
Speaking of Derek Welch, we talked about Derek Welch and how well he's doing tonight. Way up there in front, running those outside lanes like he wants to run. Wally Balls 55 over there on YouTube saying, "Here we go, Numb Thumbs racing." So a lot of people watching the Numb Thumbs guys out there pulling for him.
As they should be. I'm Brown. I don't know what you're looking at, but I think Dylan and Zach Dillon came down to 120. And just kind of got in the way of the line that Albert Anderson was riding. And just unfortunate incident, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's the case. But it was the 97 that went for a ride with him, and you could see there.
Okay, 97. Thank you.
And one of the Team America guys, I think, like you said, it was one of the Statens, the 88 of Zach Staten, getting involved in that one as well. As here comes Kevin Winker. I think he realized the fuel situation. He's going to come on down while everybody else stays out.
Yeah, bring him on down. Let's just get this thing re-racked. Good racing.
Cody McEwen, as you remember, we talked to him before. He's over there in Oklahoma. He's saying the storms might knock out the power, but he's still going to watch until then. So it's good to have you, Cody. Hopefully, lights stay on for you over there, buddy.
Well, we do have a local weatherman there in Oklahoma. Turner, how's it looking out the window?
It's windier than hell. I mean, it's just there's a song Billy Joe Shaver sings. It's called "The Oklahoma Wind." You might want to check that out because it's a real thing down here in South Oklahoma. That wind is whipping. There is some storms brewing. It's just that time of year, man. I mean, you just got to deal with it.
I think Cody's out west of you out there. He's close to. My mind's blank.
Out there in them,
What's the name of that?
some high plains out there. Well, maybe you can let us know.
Lawton area, I think.
Yeah, that's right. The general area, a lot in there. That's where my people are from, and
Comanche Nation.
yeah, Comanche land.
Fort Sill. Is that Fort Sill?
Yep, Fort Sill.
I believe it is. I believe that's where it is. It says 20 minutes north of Lawton. There you go. So it's going to get pretty hairy up there, and you know how those storms blow. They're going to hit him, then they're going to hit you, and then tomorrow they're going to hit me. So.
You. And then Brown, they may hit him in like 5 days up there.
Yeah.
if they're pushing that way.
No more storms. I'm good on storms.
You're done with them? Yeah, I'm pretty much done with them too.
The way this winter's been, it's been 60 degrees, and then it's dropped down to 17, and we get random snow, and yeah, we're done with that.
That's what makes me sick, you know. We got the gobs of pollen falling right now. It's falling like snow.
It's a damn cedar trees.
It's all of them. Man, it's...
Yeah, the cedars are really...
Yeah, that's the ones that really bug people, but...
Look like Zach Staten has manually disconnected one of the
He
Team
might have
America
run out of
guys.
fast repairs too.
Well, he did
Old
helicopter
Ham
out
three.
of the stadium.
Yeah, he did. Cubby Stanley joining us as well over on YouTube, saying Numb Thumbs racing #1. Looking for Derek Welch to do something out there. He just pitted, but still going to start in 5th place here, it looks like. And Logan McKinnon also saying, let's go NTR. So Numb Thumbs
Yeah,
well
no.
represented in the fan base tonight.
They bring quite a crowd, don't they? And I hope y'all are watching. If you're trucking, maybe listen on Numb Thumbs
Yes.
Gaming Radio, because we're talking about y'all Spatium trucking. Also, check out HCKBeaglesRacingLeague.com. I know Derek Welch has a bio on there. I've seen it. I'm gonna have to get back in there and look at it. It's,
I've perused.
there's some good bios in there, and you learn about some of these guys, where they come from, what they do in real life.
The
This
15
is a simulation,
pretty funny too.
not a game. Yeah, it's good times, man. These guys are out here to have a good time, and I think we're seeing that tonight.
That we are, as Cale Turbeville is going to take us to that green flag with the 12 of Austin Johnson on his outside. 96 is Zachary Peterson still hanging around out front there. He's looking to have a good restart here behind that 64 machine. Same thing with that 42. Kevin Winker still up there battling out, and he has some teammate help this time with that 51. Joshua Moore right behind him as we get this thing locked and loaded here. Back across the line, green flag racing here. 17 laps remain, 3 wide, almost 4 wide, heading back down through this field.
Kevin Winker jumping down in front of Derek Welch to be the 3rd car, or 3rd truck rather, on the inside line. He's going to move up with Winkers. He starts another line here to the outside with a big run.
Yeah, that he does, and he's getting a whole bunch of help. He's got the 15 of Cody Satan right there behind him as well, so they're leaving just that 2-car little group of, of Peterson and Turbeville. But here comes the rest of the crew. Here comes 51 up here on the inside. Same thing with Paul Ferdiani in the 66, looking to bolster up that inside line a little bit.
Old Glory's on the warpath back here. They're three of their trucks are all together right here next to Hicks in the Yoo-Hoo machine, and their other man is Osborne right up in front of Hicks. So they're trying to get organized here.
Yeah, just kind of set yourself up for the end of the race. If you can get close to your friend, your team, anything can happen. So no matter what has happened prior to the last few laps, if you're up there, I mean, let it rip.
And that's what these guys are doing. Kevin Winker up here being pushed by that one of Welch still excuse me, still trying to find a way to pull around that 64 of Turbeville, but man, that 96 has not left that 64's bumper from the get-go here, giving him a big old shove here down that front straightaway.
Some of these guys are excellent pushers, and we see week in, week out who the good guys are at pushing. And I think some of the other guys are really learning how to do it more and more as this league, trucks along here. Some of these guys are getting better. They're improving quite a bit here. Angry Indian 89 over there on Twitch says, I'm a madman. I hope that's in a good way.
I would think so. You're a Louisiana madman.
Dusty Smith is spun. He got T-boned by somebody while he was spinning. 2 trucks involved. Dusty Smith in the 121. Looks like he's still got he's either under power or he's coasting into the pits right now.
As we take a look back to see what happened to Dusty Smith as the yellow came out. Oh, just a little bit of a tap there, I think, from the 203 of Earl Evans.
Morning Glory team, Earl Evans in the 203. Yeah, unintentional again. I think they're just racing so tight. We're getting to the back end of this thing. You're kind of trying to stay on the bumper of everybody, and one small mistake.
I think that truck just was not quite settled. I don't think there was actually any contact here. Let's take a look back. different camera view. He might have been a little contact, might have a little bit of different airflow, and the truck being unsettled, and that's what kind of really caused that one there. But thankfully, it really didn't take out too many drivers here as we get ready to try to line things back up for the final 10 laps of tonight's race.
Ooh, I can't believe it's almost over.
Well, we still have the chance
10
for a
laps,
green,
that's 30
green, white
miles.
checker. Yeah. Well, man, you're good at math, dude.
Ooh, and
that's
Cale
pretty amazing.
Tuberville coming down into the pits, maybe getting some last-minute fueling and stuff like that to make sure he can make it to the end. And that's a interesting call, as he was the leader, so he's going to be dropping a good chunk of the way back through this field.
A lot of guys following him in, too.
Zach over there on YouTube pulling for Team America also. Yeah, Tuberville, Chase driver, one of your top contenders for the title this season. It is kind of interesting how he pit right now. Question is, how many guys stayed out? How many people are they going to have to get around? It looks like quite a few. May be difficult to overcome.
Turkey looked like he took 4 tires. I'm just trying to see who's taking what. Lawson the same,
some
same
damage.
team. No.
Anderson was in the pits for 14 plus seconds, but I think a lot of that might have been damage repair.
It could have also been a full stop. I mean, at this point, we're used to seeing them take fuel only. That 14 seconds seems like a lot, but that's just a full stop with tires.
It was, and that's what I was kind of watching. I didn't see Anderson. There's 10 cars down here on pit road. I can't do it all down here, guys. May need another set of eyes.
Need
But
Jamie Little down there with you.
Lot-
Yeah.
ooh, I would really like that. If we can get her on board, we'll have a great broadcast.
Let's see what I can do.
Please do. But I did see a couple guys taking 4 sets of tires, some taking fuel. It's kind of personal preference, I think, at this point, and kind of what your game plan is there's going to be roughly, 11 laps to go when we get this green?
Yeah, it's going to be close. I think it's going to be 11 laps here. So the lights on the pace car just turned off here. So 11 laps to finish this race. Are we going to go into bonus time? Are we going to go green flag the rest of the way? Only time will tell, and I can tell you there's a bunch of drivers out here looking to pick up a win, and they're not going to leave it out there on the track. They're going to do everything that they can to pick it up.
You guys want to talk to Cody Staten real quick?
Yeah, if you think we can figure it out, we're on the backstretch here.
I got you here. Hey, Cody Staten, it's the guys up in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, talk about your teammates around you and what's going on right up here in front of you. Y'all
Yeah,
got it
we-
kind of figured out?
We're hoping so. We lost one of our guys, but hopefully the other 3 of us can pull it off for him. But we're all where we need to be right now. I think we all got enough gas, so just drive it
Well,
out
yeah.
and hope it finishes.
We all know who the enforcer is over there for Team America, so we're pulling for you. We're pulling for you out there, buddy, and good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Yep. Yeah, be careful. Good luck.
That's from his bio. If y'all didn't know, he's the enforcer for their team.
Well, see, there's a little insider information
You
some of
wouldn't
us
know it
didn't
unless
know.
you went to the website.
I
Yeah.
did read it, but my memory is old.
Oh, I'm with you. You got old man memory and old man strength.
And old man body, everything.
As we were
Got it all.
as we were talking to one state and the other one tuning in on the broadcast here on Facebook, saying, "Tell Kevin the gas is on
Yes,
the right."
On the right. Oh, that's classic.
So as we get ready here, 11 laps to go. Back to green flag racing. Zach Peterson, Kevin Winker side by side. You got Derek Welsh, the 51 of Joshua Moore, the 81 and the 15 Osborne, and Cody Staten all up there up at the front, trying to push their lines up here to that front as we are back to that green flag. Man, everybody side by side here, no one giving an inch. That bottom line just getting a little bit more of a run. Very interesting to see that 51 is really pushing that bottom line, rather not just letting Winker kind of drive it out on that top line. But oh, little bit of a shove going on behind them.
Well, we talked about it before. These guys are good at trying to control both lines. If they can do that, they might have their dance already choreographed here for the last lap.
That they might, but they also have some East Coast racing boys up there as well, trying to sneak their way in, as well as that one of Welch, as that 51 is able to squeeze on up here with that 42. So they're going nose to tail here, and that 51 isn't going to wait for the 42 to get clear. He's going to straight jump to that bottom line and do what you said. Try to control both lines. No, now he goes back up to that outside, trying to help out the 42.
It's hard to keep up with all that.
Yeah, it's a little early to control both lines. I mean, we're still looking at 9 laps to go here, so we'll look at the 75. Mayberry got, and there's a wreck back here.
Oh man, Austin Johnson's dead.
He died?
Dusty Smith. Oh, they were flipping against the fence. Back there, watch that. The 121 and the 12.
Oh Lord.
Call the ambulance, dude.
Oh no! Come on, that was 100% netcode.
Was it?
Oh my goodness, that was some of the worst netcode I've seen in a while.
Who is in the air? This is amazing. That is wild. And I think English and I were talking about it. It seems like the trucks have the worst netcode.
Yeah, I think so.
Brandon Eastman involved in that. I'm not sure why, if there's some kind of problem with the programming, or iRacing is a great genre to, if you want to race and not pay, $4,000 for sheet metal damage when you're actually racing on a Saturday night. A lot of fun, but it is frustrating as well when you have something like that netcode. I don't know if you can explain it in English, or Mr. Brown, if some people might not know what it is.
Actually, we'll get a good view of what it is here. You can see there was a space you could have fit a fully dressed out Harley between those two trucks, but it acted like they touched, and this all happening right in front of Paul Ferdiani. And man, oh man, that's just absolute heartbreak there for the 12, and I think that was the 121 of Dusty Smith really getting the brunt of that one. But yeah, that wasn't. We've seen some of the ones where netcode's like, yeah, it was close. They were probably going to touch either way, but man, that one wasn't even close.
And stuff like that, it might not have even been netcode. We've seen wheel errors happen, right? So you can have a wheel error on your end, on your sim rig, and it won't recognize you turning the wheel until you've got it turned a certain amount, and then the sensor kind of catches up, or something, the software catches up, and all of a sudden you're bang zoom, you're in, your wheels turning 45 degrees to the right. That looked like that also, if it wasn't netcode, there was a wheel error, hardware problem there maybe.
Very technical. Bang Zoom, was that from like Adam West Batman era?
No.
60s?
Go back.
What was that from?
Go back to the honeymooners.
Oh, okay.
Bang,
wow.
Zoom right to the moon. Yeah.
Man.
Sorry.
Nobody here knows what that means.
No.
Unfortunately, I do. Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, I watched a lot of reruns when I was a kid. Andy Griffith, Honeymooners, whatever. I Love Lucy. Whatever my grandma had on TV. Watched a lot of Nick at Night.
Yeah, hee-haw was a big thing, too.
Yeah.
I could see you as a hee-haw man, yeah. All I remember is cigarette smoke and hee-haw and a console TV, and, you go down there and turn the dial, boy.
Well,
Yeah, you go down there and you have to hit the dial with
my
your hand.
my dad had 2 sons, so he would just yell out channel 12, and me and my brother, of course, would race to the TV to see which one could change the channel for him the quickest.
It's channel 12.
Channel 12. Pew! We was down.
I just remember all that cigarette smoke everywhere. I mean, what
Oh,
in the
yeah.
hell was happening back then? Thank God we're a little more sophisticated now, I think.
We couldn't move our
believe.
pictures in the house, you know. Move the picture.
A paint.
There's a clean spot behind there.
Yeah.
You can see where the cigarette smoke was getting to.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, nobody really thought it was bad for you. Well, you're not smoking them. You know, you're probably fine.
Doctors would be prescribing stuff like that back then, so it's not. It was normal. It was very normal.
Far back.
It actually is, okay? It's kind of a ways back. We were smoking on airplanes, man.
Yeah.
Weird stuff was happening back there in the 70s and 80s when I was growing up.
Yes,
Fine
indeed.
esports fan full sends incoming.
All right.
And
Yes.
Ashley Osborne saying, "Holy smokes!" Sorry, buddy.
That's all good. Just letting you get all caught up there as we are going to be going back to green flag racing. 6 laps remain here. Once when they cross that line, Joshua Moore and Zachary Peterson going to be starting this one side by side, as that 42 of Winker is going to be right behind that teammate, the 51 of Joshua Moore. Cody Staten's going to be on that inside line. So Team America looking very strong, but you also got a few other teams up there as well. Albert Anderson and Jonathan Osborne for Team Old Glory up there as well, as we got Derek Welch and Michael Hicks still hanging around up there in that 76. So here we go. Green flag is back out. 6 laps remain here to decide the winner here at iRacing Super Speedway for this Spatium Trucking 210.
Kara Hansley knows what the honeymooners is. She called it out on Facebook.
Man, good. I'm glad we have some viewers that understand what's happening.
It's nose to tail, side by side we go down this back straightaway. Joshua Moore and Kevin Winker on that outside with a big old run, trying to keep that nose out in the front. Same thing with Derek Welsh, man. They got a big run going there on that outside line.
Stoy's making it 4 wide back here. He goes below Hicks.
Oh, he's trying to squeeze it
Turbo
in there.
tunnel.
He's trying to get it. Oh, just not quite enough there, and he's going to lose a little bit of momentum, but thankfully everything regrouping here. You can see that 64 Cale Turbeville there as well, just kind of hanging out on that bottom line as they are 3 wide and coming up fast behind him and beside him. Man, look at those trucks run on that far outside line. You got that 31. Man, oh man, of Brad Clay trying to work his way up here through this field.
Stoy in the 4 machine with that huge run right up behind Derek Welch. Now they look like they're putting themselves in a position to maybe make something happen here, because we only got 3 or 4 or 5 laps to go.
5 laps now remaining with 4 in
Big
the
wreck.
one.
Critchley's around. 31's around.
Oh,
66 is around.
that is what the 27 and the 66 did not want.
Oh, mercy. I thought we might kind of stretch that green out a little bit longer, but it didn't quite happen for us. Not yet, anyway.
As we take a look back to see exactly what happened here. Oh, the 27 getting all loosey-goosey sideways there. Let's see what happened here. Oh, another case of some netcode by the looks of it.
Yeah, they need to.
That one was closer, but I believe you could still have a little bit of space there. You see that 2 of Albert Anderson just tagging that outside quarter panel there, and that causes him to go up into that 66, into the 31. Oh man, even I think the 20 of Justin Lawson. Thankfully, I think he was able to kind of ghost his way through that one without getting any damage, but ouchie mama.
I'll say this. That was netcode, but if it didn't netcode and Albert kept moving up like that, he would have he would have spun him anyway, I believe. But it looks like Russ Endicott kind of agreed with me on the last deal, saying he thought it looked like steering wheel cutout. And Cody McEwen chiming in on the old 70s and 80s growing up on a shag carpet floor. He said he had red shag carpet, Red Man, and Fig Newtons. So he didn't have to deal with the poisonous cloud of Winstons and filterless camels.
No,
that we had
I had one with these big old Winston, and then gold shag carpet, console
we had
TV,
yellow, yeah.
and then Levi Garrett, and then a pipe. You know, you got to get the pipe at the end of the night after
Trifecta.
you have dinner. So, different time. It was fun.
And Andrew
Good
Hansley,
memories.
Andrew Hansley letting us know. He said his race is over. No fast repairs and 33 minutes of required. Time to crack yourself a old cold drink there, Andrew. I'll crack one for you.
Of course you will.
Cody McEwen also saying that Andy Griffith's show was always on. And it didn't matter which grandparent I was visiting. And I enjoyed watching it too, man.
Did y'all ever get involved with the Lawrence Welk show? That's when you really know you're.
My wife still watches it.
I've been rewatching it, but my one set of grandparents there in Tulsa, God rest their soul, that was their thing, man.
Yeah, my grandma played the piano, the organ, and the accordion, so she was always watching Lawrence Welk.
They're playing the polka, I bet, down there where you're.
Some of it, yeah. A lot of German influence and stuff where I grew up.
Of course.
Well, predictions, guys. I mean, Welch is out there representing Numb Thumbs for the world to see in that number one Toyota.
That he is. He's still got a whole bunch of contenders out there with him, though. The 51 or more, the Forrest Stoy, who's worked his magic around this track. Kevin Winker is always one of those guys. You never know how he's going to finish out. He could finish out in front or finish out in the back, but you know he's going to give it his best shot. You got the 6 of Paul Dirk. He found his way back up there. Same thing with that 96 of Peterson. He's looked very strong here tonight up there at the front just about all race. You find the 3 of Hunter Smith up there as well. But, man, we called on him before. He's still up there in that top 10. That's that 76 of Michael Hicks and that Yahoo machine, man. I think we're going to see Michael Hicks finally get a good result.
Well, and we've got, it looks like officially we have 3 chances at a green-white checker. This will be attempt number 1. So what is it? If we can get if the leaders take the white flag without getting a caution, the race is pretty much it ends at the next flag, which will be the checkered flag. They'll race it out.
Correct. That is correct, but it's got to completely cross that start-finish line. There's many times we've seen white flags coming out, but they hadn't crossed the line yet, and the caution came out. So they got to at least get and cross that line before that caution flag comes out to finish this one under green. But like you said, we still have a ton of chances for it. 3 total chances, which means a bonus action here tonight for your free ticket on this Tuesday night racing action.
All right, Adam, you'll know this one. Donnie Turbofield just said, how about a little Justin Wilson way before Food Network ever started? I guarantee that was good.
Oh yeah,
Race cars all.
That's where we learned it.
Yes, as that one of Derek Welsh gets us back underway. Oh, he pulling away from the 4 of Eric Stoy, so that's going to kind of hinder that bottom line just a little bit, but the same thing was happening for that top line. They weren't quite able to stay hooked up together here, but so both lines getting back together about the same time. That bottom line really letting it go here as that 4 trying to get back up and push that one out in front even more. You still have that 81 of Jonathan Osborne sitting there as well as here comes that outside line. The 42 and the 51 finally find each other once again. 2 trucks here can make a big difference, and they're going to have a whole lot more on that outside line here in just a second as that 6 of Paul Durkee's coming up as well.
Jack Dixon predicted that the 81 of Osborne's going to win this deal. He's doing a pretty good job on the inside, number 3 truck on the inside line here.
That
Derek
he
Welch
is.
continues to lead, though.
As we come across the line, which means we're going to take the white flag, and that is it, folks. No more flags other than the checkered one at the end of this race. So we got 3 wide up here for the lead. You had Winker, you had the 51 of Joshua Moore out there, as well as Winker got loose, had to save it, so he's fallen back a little bit. Welch is now still in the lead, as we had some contact there behind him. Zachary Peterson and man, we got way too much action as we got big wreck going down that back straightaway here. It still does not matter, however, as that 1 continues to lead, being pushed by that 4 of Stoy and Jonathan Osborne as they exit turns 3 and 4, coming down that front straightaway, looking toward the outside. Here comes the 4. Oh, makes contact with the 1. Who's going to sneak and win it? It looks like it's going to be the 3 of Hunter Smith, avoiding the calamity down that front straightaway to pick up the win, with Joshua Moore in that 51 to pick up second, in the 15 of Cody Staten finishing here in third.
Look at Cody Staten finish that thing sideways. Oh, Lord, that's how they finish here. It's almost like a Daytona, but times 10. Holy smokes. I was watching Bittner. Thought he was having a good run, then he just got smoked on that last lap.
As we take a quick look back at that final corner, you can see them all coming down. The 4 looking towards the outside. The 81 had the same idea. The 4 trying to make a correction there. Oh, man. Oh, man, that 15 of Staten, though, how he finished
exactly
millimeters.
How?
Oh, man. And Welch just tried to close up a hole that was already gone, trying to move up and kind of take the 4 of Stoy's line away, but Stoy was there. So, I mean, Welch just turned up into him. I'm sure he didn't mean to. He was just trying to block both lines. And Derek Welch really wanted that win for Spatium Trucking and Num Thumbs, but not to be tonight.
Team America 2 and 3. I mean, 2 and 3 there. Hunter Smith up 22 spots. Wow, man.
Man, you are not kidding. As Hunter Smith in that 3 truck, relatively new addition here to the HCK Beagles, picking up his first win of the season here in these final run for the playoffs. As we slowly get people up here into that podium finisher waiting channel, let's go ahead and start these interviews with that 15 of Cody Staten finishing almost facing the complete wrong way. I'm sure probably at one point there you were facing the wrong way there, Cody, but able to sneak away with a 3rd place finish in what is the typical super speedway fashion of checkers or wreckers there on that final lap.
Yeah, I was just happy I got turned late enough to the point where I was still clear over the line. That could have been interesting, but we snuck through and had a good race, so.
Yeah, and we talked to you a little bit about strategy. I mean, with all the activity that was going on, strategy just kind of went out the window, but still able to finish on the podium. We're going to take a look at the points after we get off the air tonight to kind of see how everything shakes up. But, yeah, man, great solid finish right there in 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, you can plan and strategize for these races all you want, but especially at iRacing, like, it comes down to those last 2 laps, and it's just a free-for-all.
Yeah, it's almost like WrestleMania out there. You were sitting, about 6th place, 700 yards to go, and then you just kind of squeezed your way into it, got turned, and, man, podium finish, a good race. We had a lot of fun watching. I love this super speedway stuff, and I know it's kind of like shooting dice in Waco, man. You never know what's going to happen, but you ended up in the podium, top 3. You got any shout outs or anything anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank my teammate Josh, who got finished second, for making us our Mount Rushmore paint schemes for this week. Rocking Teddy Roosevelt on the hood of my car. and
Awesome.
give a shout out to my girlfriend who's hanging out watching the dog so I can race.
Awesome, man. Well, congrats on the third place finish here tonight. I know that's definitely going to help your championship battle here, trying to move your way up there. And we look forward to seeing what you can do the rest of these playoffs here, the rest of this season.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
All right, and so then we will move on up to his teammate there, that 51 of Joshua Moore, able to find a gap and kind of get lucky there towards the end, but still a solid up 28 spots here tonight, which means he is the hard charger of the day. Joshua Moore driving that 51 machine coming across the line in second. Josh, that was a crazy finish, but you know what? That's kind of what you expect here at iRacing Super Speedway.
Yeah, just got lucky there at the end. Everyone wrecked in front of me. And then Hunter had a really big run. He got coming into 3 and coming out of 4. He got on me and got a bigger run, got to the finish first.
Well, the Muhleberger Custom Homes number 51 was very consistent tonight. That's the reason you're up there in second. I mean, if you're consistently in the front and you can dodge when bad things happen, good things are going to happen for you. What happened between the 4 and the 1? You were in a pretty good position to see it. It looked like the 1 was just trying to kind of stop the momentum of the 4's line there, and it wasn't quite clear.
Yeah, I think it might have been a little indecisive there, and just came up and I didn't really see what happened, but it looked like the 1 and 4 just got together, or 4 just came down. Yeah, looking at the replay now, 4 just came down on the 1, okay. And I went to the bottom right away to miss it.
Well, you made the right move. You went to the bottom. However, Hunter Smith just he kept his momentum and just snuck it out by just a milliseconds on you, but Team America had a good run as usual. We love the paint schemes. I hear you're the man behind those paint schemes. Good job. Congratulations. You have anybody you want to thank? Something like that before we let you go.
Yeah, I just want to thank Muhleberger Custom Homes. Thank Bruce for coming on board. And I want to thank all my teammates, Zach, Cody, Kevin. Zach got wrecked half at the end there. And then Cody, he ended up finished right behind me, and Kevin got caught up in some stuff at the end. But overall, pretty good race.
Yeah, KW had it rough there. A couple of little incidents there towards the end, and I know he's one of those guys that's really kind of an anchor for y'all's team. But yeah, not able to finish up there with y'all tonight.
Yep.
Yep, and then one of the other Staten boys, Zach Staten, looked like he turned into a helicopter. But
yeah, he did.
Overall, I mean, he still ended up in 12th. So y'all had a hell of a run. Good job. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Took out a bunch of fencing and maybe some spectators a couple of times there.
As we move up to tonight's race winner, and that is that 3 of Hunter Smith, who saw what was happening out that front windshield, stuck to a line with a run, and snuck away with the win here at iRacing Super Speedway. Man, Hunter, that is a crazy finish and a great way to come across the line for a win. But man, I got to tell you, this is your 3rd or 4th race here with HCK Beagles, and now you got yourself a win. How's that feel?
Man, it's awesome. Yeah, it's my 3rd race. I actually just bought my PC a month ago, and I actually didn't even have this track until right before the race. I literally just bought the track right before we raced, so it was my first race here. I was actually 2 laps down at one point during the race, and made it back up to the top 10 with the last 10-15 laps, and somehow made it through that at the end.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I saw your name as one of the wave rounds at least once, and it was probably around halfway through the race or so. But new guy or not, and whether or not you're competing for a championship doesn't matter, because you're out there chasing a trophy tonight. And
oh yeah,
did a damn good job, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you. This is a great league, and I'm thankful for y'all to have me, and look forward to some more racing with y'all for sure.
Yeah, and that just last lap, I don't know if you want to talk us all the way through it, but on that last incident, right about 900 yards before the start finish line, you set yourself up in a great position. You know, the guy in first coming around turn four at a super speedway like this isn't always going to be the winner, and you proved that tonight. You kept your momentum. What did you do? Just found a hole and kept the pedal to the metal, or what?
Well, I was coming out of four, and I knew the best option was kind of stay up high and try to catch that draft, and just kind of hope something happened in front of me and I'd make it through it. And sure enough, as soon as they touched, I seen a gap open up, and I shot through that gap and made it through clean and came out the other side and realized I was in first.
Well, man, there's no better spot to find yourself, especially when that checker flag waves. Well, before we let you go, you got any shout outs or anything like that you want to put out there?
I'd like to thank my girlfriend for not getting mad at me for racing tonight, and watching the babies, and just thankful for all of y'all for having me, and my buddies from work that got me set up with all this. Brian Skidmore, Michael Hicks, and Rodney as well. So,
Is it Emily Jane Smith?
oh, yeah, that's my
that was
sister.
out there. Oh, that's your sister out there
Yep.
pulling for you?
Yeah,
That's awesome. She was all over YouTube saying, "Woohoo, go Hunter!" That's awesome, man.
yeah. I give a shout out to her and my mom, Jane Smith, as well, for watching and keeping up with it and rooting me on the whole way.
Good job, man. Great win.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, boys, we got another first-time winner here in the HCK
Yeah.
Beagles, and man, oh man, it wasn't the first-time winner we thought, but hey, that's plate track racing for you.
This is like when I won that money race at Talladega. You know, I think I was back in 6th or 7th, and then all hell broke loose up in front of me. I just hit the apron and somehow made it through the chaos and the smoke. And when I crossed the finish line, I didn't even know I was in first place. And I think that's kind of how
Yeah,
Hunter
it's-
felt. You know, he just made it through all the chaos. And
Some of them guys might have
Thanks,
felt like they got turned in turn 2 in Pocono by you as well.
oh, I'll never live that down.
Yeah, so we're not worried about you. These guys put on a good show. HCKBeaglesRacing.com. I thought it was another marvelous event. Next week, I'm looking forward to it. Like every week, they get better and better, and I think I'm just happy to be a part of it with you guys.
Yeah, man, as we wind things down from the virtual world of iRacing Super Speedway, let us go through and do our final finishing order of the night. And that starts us off with that 3 of Hunter Smith up 22 spots. So it's not like he started up there and stayed up there, man. He had to fight, like he said, a couple laps down at one point, able to get on back to that lead lap and win this thing. And, man, it was a good one. You got that 51 of Joshua Moore, hard charger of the day, up 28 spots, finishing here in second. With that 15 of Cody Staten, have a solid night, especially for those championship points for that 51 and 15, finishing in third. That 4 of Eric Stoy, man, that's a good finish for him as well. If he's in that chase for that 11th place position here at the end of this season, he's finishing here in fourth. With the 6 of Paul Durkee with a solid night, up 13 spots to finish in fifth. The 1 of Derek Welsh, thought he might have had a little bit of something coming down to it, but little bit of calamity towards the end, still able to walk away with a 6th. And then you had that 96 of Zach Peterson, who was up front just about all dang race. He was able to come home in 7th. The 115 of Dave Hot Rod Mayberry finds himself out there in that top 10, finishing here tonight in 8th, with the 27 of Curtis Critchley in 9th. And rounding out tonight's finishing top 10 is that 12 of Austin Johnson.
good to see old Hot Rod get a top 10, sitting there in 8th after starting in the back. That's pretty cool. The 5 of Steven Naylor will finish in 11th. The 120 of Zach Dillon finishing in 12th, up a whole bunch of spots. He started way back in 28th place. Chachi, Jonathan Osborne in the 81. Looking for more then just a top 5, top 3. He was one of those guys we thought he might get up there and take a win, but as you mentioned, the calamity and the chaos happened. He picked up a 13th place. Cale Turbeville in the 64, another one of them cats that real consistent every week. In the chase still in the 64 Klondike machine, finishing in 14th. Albert Anderson, one hell of a save earlier in the race, but not able to keep it all together all the way to the end. The 2 truck will finish in 15th place. Mark Collins of Numb Thumbs Racing in the 25 will finish in 16th. Earl Evans in the 203 finishing 17th. Josh Bittner in the 84 Keller Williams machine started back in 15th and dropped a couple spots, finished in 18th place tonight. Paul Ferdiani in the 66 had a really competitive truck. Started on the pole tonight, stayed up front quite a bit, then had some problems and ended up finishing in 19th place in the top 20. Brian Skidmore in the 75. Didn't mention him, I don't think, all night. We usually talk about Brian because him and Hicks are a couple of those guys that like to sneak up through the field. But Brian Skidmore starting in 32nd place, up 12 spots to finish in 20th. Good job, Brian.
Yeah, it was hard to get a hold of everybody. There's 30-something trucks out here. Great league, very competitive. 97 are Rodney Griffin. Started 31st, ended up 21st. 76 of Michael Hicks, ended up 22nd. 42, Team America, Kevin Winker, unfortunately ended up 23rd. 20 of Justin Lawson, 24th. 24 of Andrew Hansley, the 4th, 25th. 31 of Brad Taylor, 26th. The 121 of Dusty Smith, 27th. 39 of Brandon Eastman, ended up in 28th. 88 of Zachary Staten, one of them Staten boys. He turned into a helicopter tonight. 29th, we'll see him back next week, I'm sure. Number 7 of Rick LePage, 30th. 54 Brandon Coleman he was leading, I think he was leading the race at some point there. Ended up at 31st, got kind of turned sideways. 110 of Richard Michelob Gray had a decent race until, something got to him. He might have, dropped his beer or something. I don't know. Ended up at 32nd. Dustin really, in the 37, had to DQ for, something minor, but
missed the
it's a
race meeting or something.
Rules violation. Yeah, no big deal. But let's thank Gregory Turner. He didn't race. That guy's doing race control, giving out all the cautions, not the cautions, but the clearing black flags and just paying attention to the race. That's a very tough job, and a shout out to Gregory Turner for doing all that.
And not just that, he's the league owner, and he sends out stuff on Facebook all the time. The guy wears a lot of hats, and it's not easy to run a league, especially, he does a lot of the stuff himself. He's got a little bit of help from a couple of the guys, but yeah, Turner, he races when he can, but he's definitely for running the league the right way first. So hats off to him.
That indeed. But however, that concludes tonight action here from HCK Beagles, all brought to you by the wonderful fans out there watching with us. We thank you all for tuning in, as well as our sponsor for tonight's race, Spatium Trucking, a division of that Numb Thumbs gaming community. You can go look them up in that Discord and find out how you can join, especially if you're in that America Truck Sim and Euro Truck Sim kind of environment and love driving around. Well, might as well do it and make some money while doing it. Virtual money, of course, with their virtual truck log that they use. One of the best companies out there, and you can check them out there. And big thank you to them for sponsoring tonight's race. And with that, we move on to stay here for tomorrow night for the Vigilante Racing League, as they have 100 laps here tomorrow, and it'll be interesting to see how those guys can handle this little tricky 3-mile racetrack. For Alan English and Adam Turner, I'm Alan Brown. We're signing off.
And we'll see you next week. HCK Beagles going to Michigan once again. Muhlenberger Custom Homes sponsoring an 80-lap race. out at Michigan next week. That's the 5th of April. So we'll see you guys then. We gone.
See ya.